Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Getting into the DXY on the daily. We got this WXY X2. We got the Z up, getting to both targets now. We do have possible bearish divergence at this stage. So you're really only looking for shorts on the daily. We're sort of looking for something like this, an A, some sort of a B, and then a C down before we get more A, B, C. So it's becoming very difficult, as you'll see on the lower time frames. We got that, we got an A, some sort of a B here, and a C up. I don't believe we have. Just check to see if we got bearish divergence. Yeah, we do have bearish divergence. The problem is we may lose that bearish divergence because this has gone, without even drawing the fibs, this has gone past 100 fib. Like we got an A, B, C. You know, if it was just an A, B, C up, we'd be falling over here somewhere. Instead, it's just kept on going. On the H1, we are starting to get bearish divergence. You know, starting to get bearish divergence, but there's no sell set up on it. And if you are looking for the sell, you're sort of only looking for a 38.2 retracement. If I just take this off. So we're really only looking for a 38.2 retracement. So if you are looking for the short, you're only looking for a retracement down to the 38.2 or the 50%. And then you'll be looking for another one up to give us that bearish divergence. I dare say we will lose this bearish divergence here, and it'll keep on going up. Very risky to be buying up here. You need to wait for a correction before you start buying. On the H1, there is nothing. You know, you're getting a little bullish flag up here for more upside, more than likely. For the sell, you really need to wait. You need a big impulse down and then a sell setup, something to trade before you can look for the sell. And if you're scalping the buys, be very careful. Just you know, in and out, and that's it. You know, take your profit and run. On the AU on the daily, so we got that WXY X2 Z down. Like I mentioned, we lost the bullish divergence, so we got another one down, giving us that bullish divergence. And now it looks like we're getting a nice impulse up on the daily. We do have a higher height on the daily as well. So really you can only, you know, wait for your correction and look for a buy on the daily. On the H4, looks like there's more upside. I was just looking for an A, B, C in here, an A, B, C. We're at that 100 fib. We don't have any bearish divergence. So more than likely this will continue up. And you know, wave Y can get up to this 161.8. So there may be more upside. You could look for buys, but again, you know, like I said a couple of weeks ago before the Ukrainian war started, you know, you're going to have to be very careful and conserve your capital, because yeah, markets can become very erratic when in times like this. On the H1, there's nothing really, you know, you've just got one wave up. You really need to wait for a H1 correction before you look for another buy. Yeah, Not much you can do unless you're already in it. Looking at EU, we've got that WXY, X2, Z down. And then we got a higher high here. And it's just gone and fell over. So, you know, extremely frustrating. On the H4, I was just looking for a correction in here, like an A, a B, and then a C up before we get more downside. But it's just kept on going. This may be still a B wave for an A, B, C, but this is starting to go too far. So there's nothing really, see, I was looking for like an A, B, C up in here, a C up in here, and then look for a sell setup. But we never got that C up. So it's made it very difficult to trade. We are starting to get bullish divergence now, but you need a setup to buy, and there simply isn't any buy setup. And you don't want to be just blindly buying down here, trying to catch a falling knife. You know, you'll just get burnt. So wait for a setup and trade accordingly. GU. So this one's, I'm looking at like WXY, X2, and we're looking for that Z down to this 123.6 and then the 161.8 for wave Z. Breaking this low, we should get a bullish divergence. So here on the H4, I was looking for an A, B, C. We've got to the 100 fib. More than likely, this is going to go down to that 161.8. We're going to get more downside. This has changed. So we'll be looking for something like, you know, we'll be looking for 5 down, you know. So wherever this wave here ends, you know, then wait for your X2 and Z down. At this stage, on the H4, you really need to see, we can look at this actually. Yeah, see, we had that nice A, B, C down in here and was looking for that one to go up and break the top. It never did. So again, it's been difficult. If you're in the sell, you know, you just hold it. We're starting to get bullish divergence on the H1. So really, because we got that bullish divergence, you can scalp bearish flags. It's very risky, you know. Because we already have that bullish divergence. And for the buy, you really need a breakout above the top and then give you a correction or a flag for the buy. It's getting very difficult, you know, to trade, very choppy. NU on the daily, sort of following AU, you know, we're getting strength in the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar, whereas we're getting a lot of weakness in the EU, in the euro and the GBP. There's so many different ways, like I've gone over so many times before, you know, this can be so many different structures because we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that can be the end of the triple three before we get an A, B, C for a larger flat in here. And then you get that A, B, C. So again, if you're looking for the buys at this stage, it's going to be, very difficult. We haven't quite broken this top over here yet. Like we were looking at last week, big flat in here for more upside. Up to that 100 fib. I'll just see if we're getting bearish divergence. I think we may have. Oh no, we still do have bearish divergence, but more than likely we'll lose that bearish divergence. It's getting, there's not really much you can do. Better off to stay on the side and conserve your capital when markets are like this. On the H1, there's really nothing you can do. There's no setup either way. UI on the daily. So we got that A, B, C. We have heaps of bearish divergence, or bearish divergence between this top and this top. Sort of looking for more upside up to this 100 fib. It never got there. Here we have a possible bull hidden, like I mentioned, to go up and break the top for a flat in here. But as you can see, it didn't go. I was just looking for a flag in here and then go. Instead, we got this very deep correction. We got another one up, giving us bearish divergence. Look on the H1, So we got bearish divergence here. This top was just broken over here. Now we have a lower low, So really, you can only look for a sell. But again, we're getting very deep pullbacks. Like this was very deep, back to the 90 fib or 78.6. We may get a very deep correction in here, before we get another one down. You got to really watch price action, see what correction we're going to get. But like I said, at this stage, we have a lower low. So you can only look for the sell at this stage. Wait for the correction. The Swissy on the daily, this is becoming very complex as well. We're looking at the A, B, C, and then we're looking for an A, B, C. That just didn't happen. Instead, we got all this in here. This is extremely difficult to trade. It's so choppy. It's not giving direction. We got a higher high. We got a nice higher high, and we got an A, B, C down. This was looking good. We broke the trend line. I was just looking for a correction to give us that C up. Instead, it's gone and broken the low again over here. So we've got extremely difficult to trade. I think that did break the low. If not, it was very close. It's really nothing. Again, I'd just stay out of it. There's just no clear direction at this stage. It's whatever's happening. It's a correction. Some sort of an A, a B, and a C. If that's a contracting flat, or this in here, can go either way. Like this is more bullish in here with this impulse here. So we may get like another one up here, but just breaking that top and then falling over, it's going to be very risky. You're only scalping. UCAD on the daily. this one's, we're looking at that A, whatever's happening in here as a B, and we're looking for that C up to that 100 fib. On the H4, I was looking for more upside in this one here. It just broke the top and then fell over. So again, we got an A, excuse me, A, B, C, and then we got a lower low. So you can only really look for the sell, but you got to wait for a sell setup to sell it, and it's not giving that sell setup because this is very sharp. You know, I really would have just liked to see a correction in here and then a sell, but instead it's giving us a nice big impulse up here. So again, it's not giving us the setups to trade. You know, it's not giving us the price action to, you know, give us those setups. So just whatever you're doing in this, you know, just be very careful. I'm just staying out of most of these at the moment. GY on the daily. So we got the 5 up. We got an A. This had bull hidden, you know, and it didn't quite go and break the top. So we got an A. Looking at this as a B, and we're looking for a C down. I was looking for an A, B, C in here, and then another one up in here for an A, B, C to finish off that B wave, and then give us a C down for an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat before we get more upside. When we look on the lower time frames, this still can be a B wave. It's still possible that this is an A, a B, and a C as an expanding flat. But again, we need that. We'll go down to the lower time frames. We need a setup to buy, and we're just not getting that. We've lost all our bullish divergence. So more than likely, there's more downside in it. Wherever this wave here ends, more than likely you'll get a deep correction back to the 90 fib or the 78.6. It'll give you a bear hidden and then give you another one down. So if you are looking for the buy, just be mindful that we don't have any bullish divergence, you know. So more than likely we'll get a bear hidden and more downside. So yeah. EG just keeps on falling on the daily. So we're looking at that like WXY, X2, and a very choppy Z down. We got a lot of bullish divergence. See, again, we got a nice higher high. There was, like I said back here, you know, we can look at this as an A, B, C, and then we get a C up, and then it comes down and breaks the low, which is what happened. Or we get an A, B, C. Now, it's gone and broken the low. There's no bullish divergence in here. You know, there's no bullish divergence. We may still get an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat for more downside. But yeah, that's all the structure I can really see. You know, this as we should get another one up here for a running flat or expanding flat, and then more downside. Really only looking for the buys, and H1 there's nothing. You know, we got those 5 down in here, got a large correction, and then we get some sort of WXY, X2, and a Z down to finish off the move before we get that C up. There's no setup. Like, I mean, you can look at this like as a WXY and we get an X2 up to this 38.2 or maybe to the 50 fib, and then more downside. If you just quickly go to the see, you got a nice flag here. Like, you know, you could be on the buy on this one. Again, very risky because we don't have any bullish divergence. So, you know, it's extremely risky. It's more than likely just an A, B, C up to the 38.2 and then more downside, you know. So you're really only scalping. And that goes for everything at this stage, you know. We're in very uncertain times, extremely risky. Looking at gold, again, we've got a WXY. We had, looking at that as an X2 with the bear hidden, this one never went and broke that low. So it made it so much confusing. So there's so many different structures that could play out here. I was looking at an A, B, C in here, but again, we've lost the bearish divergence. So, you know, is this wave X on the weekly over? You know, we may be going up to break that top as some sort of a correction in here. It's so choppy. You know, all this in here was extremely choppy. If you go back through my videos in when we were looking at this in here, I mean, you know, it's a nightmare and you just stay out of it. So looking at the H4, we're looking for a time factor here, you know, looking at a WXY, some sort of X2 and then a Z up. Just remove that. We may get an internal correction in here. You know, we've got a sharp move down in here. So we could look at it as an A, a B. It may go and break that top, just break that top and give you a C down. If it does that, well, then you could look for another buy. Just to go and break the top, you're only really scalping again, you know. We're at a high. Yeah. WTI just keeps on flying up. So we've got that WXY, X2, Z up, lost all the bearish divergence. So again, very hard. We got on the H4, we got that 5 up, X2 and a Z up. It's gone way too far and we've lost all the bearish divergence again. So you can only really wait for a correction and buy. You know, it's as simple as that. But you really want to wait for that correction. You don't want to be, you know, trying to buy up here. It's just madness, you know. So you can sort of see here, we may get some sort of an A. This is looking very choppy. So this may be a B. You may get a C down in here. And then, you know, you'll be looking for upside. But you want to wait for a correction. You really need to wait for a correction before you buy some sort of a structure. You can see that this is reasonably choppy. So more than likely we get one down in here and then you wait for your buy setup to buy. Keeping very tight stops. Bitcoin on the daily. Looking at that possible flat. So we get an A, B and a C. It was looking very good. We got a nice impulse up, but then we got that very deep correction in here. So, you know, I was just at that stage when we got that deep correction, I was just looking for an A, B, C, and then possibly more downside. We really needed that impulse up, correction in here, and go. But we never got that. So on the H4, we're just looking for an A, B, C, A, B, C. That hasn't played out again, you know, like we never broke the top of wave A. We never got to that 100 fib. So, you know, is this a contracting flat? You know, you're never going to know if that's a contracting flat and it's complete. to go and break the low. If we look on the H1, we really, you can't really sell it yet. That's the problem. We've got a WXY. Looking at this as an X2, and then we get a Z up. We have the bull hidden divergence. So you can't really sell until this low here is broken. So you really want to, for the sell, you want to break that low and then give you a flag or correction before you look for the sell. Other than that, why this bull hidden still holds, it's not valid to trade. That's the problem. This bull hidden here, it's not valid to trade as bull hidden yet. But wherever this ends, you may get another one down here. Wherever it ends, you want to wait for that impulse and a buy setup, and then you try and trade that bull hidden to go and break the top. It's more than likely just going to be a correction though, More than likely, if we get that Z up, just get up to that 100 fib and then fall over, because more than likely we will get bearish divergence in here. So yeah, you're really only scalping Bitcoin as well at this stage. S&P 500. So we're looking for A, B, C on the daily. Back to that 50 fib. We may really like to see this. This is looking corrective, and we got a lower low here, an A, B, C. Really need to see this go up a little bit higher and give the positive on the MACD, or else this is going to be internal. If it just falls over from here, this is going to be internal on the daily, and it could really fall over. If that's the case, if we don't get this cross, this could really turn over, fall over in a big way. On the H4, we're just looking for that A, B, C. A, B, C. It never got up to that 100 fib on the H4 either. So it's made it hard. I did take a couple of trades in here last week, but it just never went. I sort of got into a trade down here, and then we got this correction here, so I added. This turned into a break-even trade, and this one down here, I got out with a bit of profit. But again, I was looking for an A, B, C. I was looking for more upside in this wave up here. We never got it. It just broke the top, and then it started to fall over. So now you can only really look for the sell. So you'd have to go down to the lower time frames. But you're looking at like an A, B, C in here. You could put a sell stop just under there on the lower time frames once you get this wave up here. And if you're triggered, you just hold it, and you're looking to break the low, basically, because you have that A, B, C here. So you're looking for downside. Yeah, you're really only scalping. I mean, because, yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen this go a little bit higher, and then give the sell, but it didn't do it. So you got to be careful, because this, it still can get up to that 100 fib. You want to wait for a really nice setup, but just go down to that M15 to see. It looks pretty valid. It looks like a nice A. This is looking very choppy for a B, and then we get a C up. Yeah, there's my phone, just at the wrong time. Looking at the AU 200, I might just have to So looking at the AU 200, looking at this, we got the 5 up. We got a nice impulse down. So whatever's happening in here, we're looking at as correction. Looking at like an A, I was looking at this as a B, and then I was looking for the C up. It's gone a little bit further, but it's still valid as a expanding flat in here for an A, B, C. The problem is this doesn't look like a C wave. It's very choppy. So it's made it very hard, you know. I mean, there is that bear hidden, like I mentioned, you know, to go and break that low, that possible bear hidden, and this is a larger correction. But again, it still hasn't broken the low yet, but I'd be more inclined to look for a sell, you know, because this is looking so much corrective. On the H1, it's, you know, it's not really giving anything. It didn't give a bull hidden here. It's really, you know, you sort of got a flat in here for an A, B, C, A, B, C. So then we'll be looking for an A, B, C, and then it should be over. And then you'll be looking for, you know, once you get this one up here, breaking the top, then you wait for a sell setup to sell. You know, very difficult. The DAX. So we got the 5 up with the Z, and then I was looking for an A, B, C down to that 100 fib. That played out, but it's turned into a wave Y, and this was very deep, you know, extremely deep pullback, which makes it very difficult. But wherever this wave here ends, you know, then you'll be waiting for, you know, your correction up to that 38.2, and then you can start to look for sells again. You don't want to be selling down here. I mean, you know, it's madness. There is no bullish divergence. So, you know, you're only really looking for sells, but you want to wait for a correction before you get that sell. There's really nothing on H4 either. You know, we've got no bullish divergence or anything. H1, we really don't have, you know, between this low here and this low here, we do have bullish divergence, but between the last two, we've lost the bullish divergence. So we sort of, you know, we don't have any bullish divergence between those. So you can sort of look at it as a flat in here for an A, B, C. But then, right, it's really not giving you much at all. You want to wait for a correction. You want to wait for some sort of a structure to sell before you start jumping on. The FTSE on the daily, this is fallen over. So now we have that lower low. So on the daily, you're only looking for sells. What's that? We're sort of looking at an A, B, C. We got a C down, and it gave us that nice impulse up. And we're just looking for that A, B, C last week, A, B, C in here last week, and then more upside. We got the C down in here. We'll just go down to the lower time frame. You know, we're looking for that A, B, C, and then, but we never got that high, which made it very difficult to sell, you know. It's just, yeah, we're just not getting the nice setups at this stage, and that happens from time to time. You know, it's like that S&P trades I took, you know, it was looking very promising, and then yeah, market turned and took one of my trades out at break even, and the other one, I only made a little bit of profit on, but that's trading. Trade safe, keep safe, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.